Now welcome to part 1 of my tutorial series where we are going to be learning Blender, and in order to learn Blender I'm going to be teaching you how to build my house. In this video we're going to be learning about common mistakes that you may be making whilst you are learning Blender. I have only been using Blender myself for about 2 to 3 months, so I am acutely aware of how easy it is to make mistakes, and I am aware of how mistakes can obstruct or slow down progress. So we're going to be looking at how to identify those mistakes and also fix them. But we're going to be learning skills which are needed to effectively use Blender. Now, if you don't know what Blender is an open source free software which you can download and use to make lots of 3D models. It is rapidly becoming an industry standard in the movie making industry, amongst other things. 3D modeling is not the only thing that Blender does, but 3D modeling is what we are going to be focusing on in this video. So if you are a regular viewer of my channel, hopefully this will be something brand new for you to learn. But if you are learning Blender for the first time and you found my website, welcome to you as well. So what are all the different components involved with building my house? Let's peel the layers back and have a look. So if we turn off the solar panels, for example, you can see we've got mounting adapters underneath. Let's remove the solar panels. Let's remove the tiles. Let's remove the roof coverings. And you can see the structure of the roof in all its glory. Let's remove the roof. And now you can see inside the interior. We'll remove the internal walls. We'll remove the plasterboard. We'll remove the door trim. We'll remove the skirting boards. And we'll just switch off the entire interior here. We'll remove the doors. And we'll just simply go ahead and we'll remove all of the outer walls. We'll remove the floor, we'll remove the floor joists, remove the sole joists. And here we have the foundations of the property. And this is what we're going to be starting with in the first tutorial. Well, where does your journey with Blender begin? It begins right here on the blender.org website. You can go to the download tab and you can select your Blender to download. In this instance, it is automatically giving me the Linux option. I'm sure if you're on Windows, you will have the Windows option to download. So you can go ahead and download that. So once you've downloaded it, you can extract the zip file and you can run the installation procedure. So once you've downloaded and installed Blender, you should get an icon which looks just like this one down here. We will start this instance of Blender, and this is what you should see. Now, you will no doubt see that all the text is a lot smaller than what I have here. I've just enlarged everything here so that you can see it a lot more easily on a smaller screen. What you have here, you can create a brand new file, and there are lots of different files you can create. You can open up a recent file here. I wouldn't get hung up to here. You can just click anywhere outside this box and you get the default view. Now, this is a bit like showing you the cockpit of a space shuttle without any training. I'm sure you are very overwhelmed by what you are seeing here. But let's stick with basics for now. In the bottom left corner, I have got highlights of mouse clicks and also keyboard presses. That will help you understand in visual terms what it is I am doing, but I'm also going to try and narrate as best as I can. So the first thing we have got a cube right in the middle. So when you left click on the cube, you have selected it and you have got an orange border around that cube. You can shift your view around by pressing and holding the center mouse button, and then you can drag like so. So you can move your location in any direction you wish. Now, you can also move about by holding Shift and then holding left and then moving about like so. Now, if you find yourself in this situation where your selected object is nowhere to be found, you can press the decimal point key on the number pad of your keyboard, and it will automatically center on the last selected item or the current selected item. You can zoom in or out using the scroll wheel on your mouse like so. And you can also use this wheel at the top in which to change your angle in which you use your viewport. Now this is quite useful as well. You can just do a single left click and now you are looking right down the x-axis. Likewise, you can do the same with the z-axis. You're looking right down the z-axis, and you will also notice that we are in what's known as orthographic views. And this is a very useful view with which to design things. For example, if we center click and hold it and then move away, you will see that things are now in what's known as a perspective view. Most of my work is done in perspective view, but when we are doing things in a precise manner, these orthographic views come in very handy indeed. You can also look at orthographic views if you wish. You can select this button here and you can select orthographic views, and it looks quite strange, but everything is much better when you're looking end on. I prefer to keep it in perspective view like so. Now, a few items of housekeeping that you should do. If we go to the right here, we want to go to an item which is called Scene right here. Select that, and we want to select units. We want the metric unit system. So we want to have lengths defined in meters, rotations defined in degrees, and that will set us up nicely. The other thing we want to do is go to overlays here, and we want to make sure that the grid is switched on, and we have a scale of 0.1 in this particular example. So that means we've got grid squares which are 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters like so. So now we've got the basics of looking around done. What we want to do is ask the question, how do we move this object? Well, here we've got this move button here, and you can select that, and then you can grab left and hold the mouse and you can move it in any direction you want. And this isn't particularly precise. We will also demonstrate another item, which is rotation. So you can select rotate. Very interesting. If there is a shortcut button, it will show you what the shortcut button is. In this case, it's the letter R. So if I select rotate and then rotate it, you can rotate it as you see fit. Now, you can also undo whatever you've done by hitting Control Z, like so. Last item I want to talk about is scaling. So we can scale this along this axis here. We can scale it along this axis over here. So those are interesting ways of manipulating objects. In order to use the shortcuts, what we can do is select the object, press G to grab, and then it turns into a white box. So you don't get those handles like we did with the other method. And then we can move it around as we see fit. Likewise, we can rotate using R, and we can rotate it as we see fit. And finally, we can use S to scale, and we can expand and contract the scale as we see fit. But what we're now going to do is look at these tools with more nuance in the process of building our house. So first of all, what we're going to do is delete this box. And then what we're going to do is add a new object. So you can use this as an example. What I like to do is use Shift A, and then you can add a new mesh. And we're going to start off with a plane. We'll zoom right into here. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit this plane in more detail. So we've got in the top left corner, we've got object mode, and this allows us to manipulate the objects in more general terms. But when we would want to look at the object and edit it more specifically, we go into what's known as edit mode here. Now, a useful shortcut between edit and object mode is to use the tab button. So if we press tab, we're in object mode, and we press tab again. Now we are in edit mode. So what we are going to do is left click, and we are going to select these 3 vertices. And what we're going to do is delete the vertices. So you press the delete button and then you select vertices. So we only have 1 vertex left. And what we're going to do is move it into the origin here. So you can move it like that. And it's not very precise. Or we can do something else. We can press Shift S and we can move the selection to the cursor. So we press 8 and now it's right in the middle here. So after part 1 of this video, we've now got to a stage where we've got a single vertex. And from that single vertex, we are going to be building the foundations of my house in part 2. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.